Hey, it's Mike Berner, finance writer for business.com, here to show you the key elements to include in an invoice so you get paid on time. So be sure to stick around and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the business.com website, links below, for more small business content. Let's start with the basics. A sales invoice is defined as a formal request for payment, so in other words, a bill. Sometimes an invoice is sent before the goods or services are provided, sometimes it's sent afterward, but in both cases it lists exactly what was provided by the seller and the amount that the buyer is required to pay. Now, it's not a legally binding document, but it does provide a record in case disputes come up later, so you're going to want to send one every time you need a payment. Having these records helps you 1. Keep track of sales, 2. Manage your finances, and 3. Know if a customer's payment is overdue. It might also be necessary for paying taxes later on, so be sure to look into your local government's tax laws and regulations. Now we'll get to the good stuff, which is how to make sure that your invoice looks professional. One study found that U.S. small businesses deal with over 800 billion in overdue invoices every year, so you want to make sure you do everything by the book. Without further ado, let's dive in to how to create an invoice. One quick tip before we begin: if you're in a pinch, you can use a free template from Google Sheets to send an invoice, but we recommend specialized accounting and invoicing software such as QuickBooks, Xero, or FreshBooks. In this example, we'll use FreshBooks to create an invoice because we think it's a great program for invoicing. First, you want to make sure that your invoice actually says the words invoice somewhere. Now, maybe that sounds obvious, but you want to make sure that no one misses those words so your invoice doesn't get deleted or thrown in the trash. An invoice should also include your business's legal name, address, and phone number, and maybe today your email address as well, all at the top. You also want your customer's name and contact information. Now, this part is important. You want the date that the invoice was sent as well as the due date, because if there's ever a dispute later on, you'll want to be able to point to when you sent that invoice. Now, the invoice number is more for your internal use. The customer might not necessarily need that, but this just helps you keep organized. In the middle, we want the goods or services that you provided. You're going to want the name of the service, the date it was provided, the price, and the quantity. You might also want to include a description, like, say, the parts you ordered for a repair or how many hours you spent on the job. If there are any fees, such as shipping or taxes or whatever else, you want to list those line items separately from the cost of the goods or services. At the end, you should add up all those prices and show the total, because that is what you're going to get paid. And again, maybe that sounds obvious, but you want to make sure you get what you're owed. And finally, it might be nice to leave a little note for the customer with any additional information, thank them for their business, that kind of thing. Now, in FreshBooks, you can customize the look and feel of the invoice with several templates. It just helps it look more professional if the invoice's design matches your brand. And as you can see, we have a logo here, which is why FreshBooks is a really great program for invoicing. Now, if you're interested in checking out some good invoicing software, there are a few links below, and be sure to check out the full business.com buying guide, link below in the description as well. If you learned something from this video, hit that like button and subscribe. We're always putting out content for small businesses, and definitely let us know what you think in the comments. See you next time.